Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode of me talking about 7 things, I'm going to be going over episode 3 of Global Showdown. Now before I continue, please check out the links in the description below. I highly recommend the surveys, especially the redemption survey, so please fill those out if you have not already and feel free to share the links. Now onto the episode. It is day 5 and several teams go hunting. Dan mentions his back is still hurting and Rachel goes fishing. Frank and Teal work on their bridge so that they can get access to 100 grounds and also 100 points, because Teal mentioned in a comment on social media that production wouldn't allow the teams to go to the hunting ground unless they had a bridge due to the dangers in the water. And Frank mentions how both he and Teal are not people, but their skills complement each other, but they need their time by themselves. While hunting, Matt takes a shot at Niala, but unfortunately he misses. Rene goes fishing and successfully gets a fish and gets the first protein win of the challenge. Rachel also goes fishing. She did manage to get one, but unfortunately it gets away. She's worried about not being good enough and disappointing Dan. She comes back to camp and tells Dan what happened, and he says it's okay and they plan for the future with fishing. After some hunting, Jeff manages to get a warthog and gets the biggest protein win of the competition so far. Jeff goes to show off his warthog to Matt and Gabby because of his and Matt's friendly rivalry. And due to predators in the area, a ranger talks to Team Texas about their warthog and he lets them know the severity of the danger of the predators and offers advice about prepping the meat. And he says that they should make an extra boma, another fire, and they should wash themselves off after prepping the meat. Team USA South finish their bridge and get 100 points, and they get a folding saw as well, and their total is 400 points, and they are tied for first. Team Brazil finished their bridge as well and get 100 points and have 200 points overall. Team Texas races to process their meat and get an extra boma done by sundown. That night it looks like hyenas are near Team Texas's boma, but everything's fine. Day 6, Team Texas discussed the previous night and making sure that their shelter is fortified. Frank goes hunting since there's no competition that day and he spots a warthog and he manages to also get a warthog. So Frank is the second individual to get a warthog this competition. He goes to get Teal to help him get the warthog back to camp. Team USA East also go hunting and they want some necessary protein as well. Matt takes a shot and manages to hit one. He and Gabby go searching for it, and when Matt takes another shot at it, the warthog charges him, but everything is okay, and we're warned about the danger of the warthogs and their tusks, but everything is fine, but it was a very tense situation. And Matt is the third individual to get a warthog during this competition, so kudos to Matt, Jeff, and Frank for getting warthogs. And now Matt and Gabby will have some necessary protein, and Matt and Gabby also walk by Team Texas with their warthog due to Matt and Jeff's friendly rivalry and all that good stuff. So, that's good for them. And we do not see Team Mexico at all for the first 42 minutes of the episode with commercials. And we finally see them and they are building their bridge. And once they complete the bridge build, they get 100 points and choose a fishing kit as their extra item. Dan and Rachel go fishing since the fish will hopefully help Dan with his back, or at least give him some energy. Rachel is frustrated with the dynamic and discusses this with Dan. She wants to offer ideas without being brushed off to the side. Dan apologizes for frustrating her. Dan mentions that they get along great, but they need more in the competition. And at least they're communicating, and Rachel feels comfortable enough to discuss any issues she has with the situation with Dan and let Dan know that she's upset. And so this is a really good bonding moment. And it's unfortunate because Dan and Rachel weren't able to interact with each other before the competition. So it was pretty much thrown into the competition together, got to figure out their dynamic, but everything seems to be okay for now. And people need to stop being so harsh with Dan and Rachel online. Just let them be. Be nice. Don't send hate. Support your faves. USA East processed their warthog, and Matt is not allowed to share the meat with anyone else except Gabby. USA South also processes their warthog meat. Day 7, Dan's back is not feeling better, and his team's lack of protein isn't helping. There's a scroll that tells them to go to the spot on the map, and they need to ready to be dung. Dun dun dun. It's worrisome for Team USA Pacific because of Dan's back, and the teams go to their next challenge location. The new scoreboard is revealed, and USA East and South are tied for first, while Brazil and Mexico are tied for last. The bottom 4 teams are only separated by 30 points. For the challenge, the teams need to build a suspended baited basket bird trap. It's a variation of the Arapuca bird trap. Rene mentions building it a lot. The first phase is finding bait for the trap. They need to get 10 undigested seeds from rhino dung. They need to make a suspended bird trap with provided paracord. After this challenge is done and the points are divvied up, the bottom 2 will face an elimination challenge the next day. And then for this challenge, first place will get 100 points, second gets 70, third gets 50, fourth gets 30, fifth gets 20, sixth gets 10, and last place gets 0. I also want to point out that each step of this challenge is checked by an off-screen professional / judge. So I'm seeing a little bit online where people are saying that certain teams are cheating, but no, there was someone who was there off camera who was checking the bird traps, who was checking to make sure everyone had their seeds, so no one cheated in this challenge. Anyway, back to the show. Team Mexico and Brazil are determined to get out of the bottom 2, and USA Pacific want to make sure that they're not going to go into the elimination so Dan can have time to heal. The teams start and begin looking for seeds. Team Australia is first to get their seeds and move on to phase 2. USA East, USA Pacific, Texas, USA South, Mexico, and Brazil get their seeds in that order. The teams begin making their bird traps and need to make sure it's suspended. Rachel mentions the knife is duller than Texas's future, and I thought that was funny. Kerra mentions that she and Jeff are not good at making these kinds of traps. Jeff mentions his weakness in bushcrafting, and I think this is some really good foreshadowing. Jeff mentions Kerra was a better partner than Patrick after we see a flashback from Last One Standing Season 2 where Patrick says Jeff made the Arapuca bird trap wrong and they need to redo it. A few teams mention they need to take their time and get it right the first time. Team Texas has their first trap built and Jeff tells Team Australia they need to catch up. The other teams are wondering how Texas built the trap so fast. Instead of tying the paracord to 2 sticks, making an X and building the trap upwards, Texas stacked their sticks, then added the paracord to create top-down pressure. This may not be the best move, but I don't know how to bushcraft. The other teams are finishing up their first trap and are moving on to their second. USA East are first to complete their baskets. Phase 3 is suspending the traps to the tree and setting the trigger. USA East has to retie the knot on one of their traps as it comes undone. USA South has to cut some of their sticks because they're too long. Rene is a perfectionist and Marina wants to get it done. Team Australia goes to suspend their trap, as does USA Pacific. USA Pacific is the first to get their trap suspended, then USA East. Those who finish suspending their trap need to set the trigger, place the seeds inside, and successfully activate it. USA South sets their trigger, but don't have enough seeds. Teal goes to get some more seeds, and USA East have to remake their traps. USA Pacific and USA South are neck and neck, and USA South ends up getting first in 100 points and 2 ostrich eggs. This is the second time that USA South has gotten first place in a challenge, and they are doing really well in this competition. USA Pacific gets second, and they get 70 points, and they are safe from elimination. They get a kudu hide. Australia's top trap falls apart, and they need to remake it. Brazil and USA East seem to be closest to third for the time being, while Texas's bottom trap collapses and it needs to be rebuilt. Brazil ends up getting third and 50 points. USA East get fourth and 30 points. Australia gets 5th and 20 points, and they also get some fishing kits for passing 400 points. So after some tension between Mexico and Texas to see who will get 6th place and 10 points, Texas ends up getting 6th place and the 10 points, while Mexico gets 7th and has 0 points. Mexico and Texas will go head-to-head in an elimination challenge the next day as Brazil moves above the red line. We hear thoughts from Kerra, Jeff, and Fernanda about being in the bottom as the episode ends. Also, I wanted to say that I have a theory that after each zone, or whenever they move from zone to zone, the points will reset. So once the teams move to zone 2, all the point values will be set to 0, and then they'll have to build points from there, and then the final few teams will go to zone 3 and start at 0 points and then build points from there, but I could be wrong, but we shall see. The final scoreboard for the episode is: in first place, USA South with 500 points. In second, USA East with 430 points. In third, Australia with 410 points. In fourth place, USA Pacific with 300 points. In fifth, Team Brazil with 250 points. And the bottom 2 are Texas, who are in 6th place with 230 points, and 7th is Team Mexico with 200 points. Also, the total number of days after day 7. Matt has 312, Jeff has 293, Dan has 206, Kai has 162, Gabby has 117, Frank has 77, Alexa and Teal have 63, Marina and Rene have 58, Fernanda and Kerra have 49, Rachel has 42, and Pablo has 28. Next episode, Bow Up or Bow Out. The first elimination tests survivalists' ability to make fire in damp conditions and puts a legend on the chopping block. A primitive bow challenge pushes bushcraft skills and partnerships to their breaking point. 2 teams get big game animals. Thank you all so much for listening. Please like, comment nice things, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.